Let's see. Okay, there we go. Watch the earn drops. You can earn drops if you watch on Kick, guys. I don't know what that means, but you can. Let's see. What's going on today? While we get people in here. I don't know if anybody saw, but Tiger Woods flipped his car. Kind of reminded me of the time his ex-wife chased him with a golf club, but you know, that's here nor there. Let's get this to a better level. There we go. I think that's a little better. Maybe. Let's swap over and see what it looks like. Ooh, that's maybe a little bright. Wait, is it this way? Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, whoa. Camera, work with me here. Okay. Is that what we want? For right now, it'll be good. I'm watching it back on YouTube. That's crazy. Yeah, Tiger Woods flipped his car a couple hours ago. In his town, I just hope he wasn't chased with a golf club before. That would be too crazy for me to deal with right now. So yeah, hope Tiger Woods makes a full recovery. I think he had just lost, what was that, the tomorrow's golf league. Masters are this weekend. Hopefully he'll make it. And my camera's angled now. That's not good. Is that a little better? Let's see. What does that show? Okay, that's as good as it's going to get today. Happy Friday. Just the most informal Friday episode ever, I guess. But yeah, I believe the Masters are this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he was on the way there. No, that's in a couple weeks. Where are they at this weekend? Who knows? Guess Tiger Woods will be at home, recovering. Unlucky. Let's jump into it. Today is Friday, March 27th, 2026. This is episode number 76 of Addressing the Issues. Yeah, so I guess we'll do a follow-up on whatever the vague posting mess turned out to be. I assumed wrong that it was a sign up for a text message chain. It was actually the White House app. There's an app for that, I guess. There's an app for anything these days. It was about the reveal of a White House app. It's claimed that you can get live streams, real-time updates, straight from the source, no filter. Goodness, I love this new era of propaganda. Isn't it spectacular? Isn't it spectacular? You can just sign up to get propaganda sent straight to your phone. There's also people warning about what it allows. Apparently it allows them to track your real-time location, so that's kind of interesting for sure. Probably not something you want. Not something you should sign up for. Just have the White House track your real-time location. I mean, I guess it's not a 3-letter agency. That's something you can at least sleep a little bit better on. Hold on, I'm scrolling through Truth Social and making sure I haven't missed anything too important here. No, it doesn't seem like it today. I love how he now calls every social media truths. It's like, I don't know what he posted as his truth. It's like, dude, nobody uses that app. It is literally just your app. I mean, if anybody here has a Truth Social account, Follow me. I don't have one. At least I don't think so. If I do, follow me. Let me know. Tag me. We'll move on from that. It was about an app. The vague posting, shit posting White House has released an app so they can shoot the propaganda straight to your phone with push notifications. How awesome. Just how awesome. So Trump announced that there would be a 10-day pause last night on attacking energy infrastructure in Iran. Over the past 24 hours, Israel has been attacking two of Iran's largest steel factories, while this quote-unquote energy ceasefire has been taking shape. This is with the goal of establishing a 15-point peace plan that I don't believe anybody has talked about since yesterday, meaning they're probably just asleep and this plan means nothing to anybody, presumptively. It was expected to come back today. It's now nighttime there. They're probably sleeping pretty well, not responding to us. Unlucky. But it makes you think, with this war going on, how much money we've spent already. And what our impacts are. We're effectively deindustrializing Iran. I recalled, on the campaign trail, we campaigned on reindustrializing America using this money, and now all this money is going to deindustrializing a third world nation, which I just find ironic. But in response to these attacks on the steel industry in Iran, Iran has now claimed that Israel will pay for its war crimes. What does this mean? They're probably going to get more and more rounds of missile attacks. I believe we're in the 80s. I think the next one would be 85. I believe now we're 28 days into this war, if I'm not mistaken. That's quite a few a day. Roughly 3 a day-ish. 3 rounds of missile strikes a day, if my math is mathing. That's a lot. That's a lot. But yeah, it's kind of ironic that we went from promises of reindustrializing America and no new wars to a new war in which we spent all of our money deindustrializing the third world. Really ironic stuff here. Oh, my mic was low. We fixed that. Sorry, guys. Let's see, what else has happened in relation to this? Marco Rubio met with the G7, leaders of the G7, where he has apparently made it clear that Iran will never obtain a nuclear weapon. So we're back to this being about nuclear weapons like it was in the first couple of days. Yesterday it was about oil. The day before that, it's just been about everything. Everything from women's rights to nuclear weapons to ballistic missiles to funding of militias to, everything. Oil. Like I said yesterday, I don't know what's next. We're going to find out that Iran killed Harambe and that's why we're there. Which would be probably, I'd get behind that. If we found out Iran killed Harambe, I think we should level them. But besides that, I don't understand what this is all about anymore. Nobody does. Nobody seems to have any clue what's going on, why we're doing it. Or we have so many reasons that it's inexplicable why we hadn't done this 20 years ago. But the reasons keep popping up, just random ones. They're getting recycled now. We're back all the way back to never having a nuclear program. But these aren't the only outlandish claims that Marco Rubio. I guess the first one wasn't too outlandish. This one is a little bit more outlandish. Marco Rubio recently claimed that Hormuz could be open tomorrow if Iran allowed it. Yes, good observation. I could be a millionaire if somebody would send me a $10 million check. Please and thank you. The donations are open on Rumble. I'm glad he could make such a stout observation on this situation. We need somebody with a clear brain like Marco Rubio to, lead the charge on this, because I don't think anybody else could have figured out that if Iran let naval traffic through, that the Strait of Hormuz would be open. I mean, that's presidential material right there. Marco Rubio 2028, I guess. He's just a master theologian, a master of the English language. I mean, he is the best. He is the absolute best. I don't know. I thought that was a rather impressive observation. We'll leave it at that. But we'll move on with more of this Iran war coverage, which just doesn't seem to go away. I can't wait till this is over. It's getting more redundant than the Epstein thing was for a while. I was so tired of it. Now I'm exhausted with this. I have Iran exhaustion. I truly do. I just want to be out of there. I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way. Actually, I'm entirely sure, because we'll get into another story later that basically shows that public opinion may be more on my side, at least in conservative circles, than it is on this Iran war thing, where people want to do war in Iran. It's been reported, I believe this was last night, that the Pentagon is allegedly considering deploying 10,000 more troops to the Middle East, just more beyond the 82nd Airborne and the 31st Marine Expeditionary, or the Expeditionary Marines. 10,000 more. That would bring up the total to 15,000, or maybe it's just 5,000 more in addition to the 5,000 that have already been deployed, equaling 10,000. The way it was stated, it sounds a lot more like this would bring the number up to 15,000 troops in the Middle East, in a war that we have reportedly already won. If anybody can explain as to why you need more troops in a war that's been won, I would love to hear you out. Pull over and type that one out in the comments, because I need this explanation more than I need air. There's also more reports that Karg Island, this highly telegraphed move to take Karg Island, to invade Karg Island, may be a decoy move, a deke to throw off Iran. I don't know if they even were, fully bid on this with how telegraphed it was. But it's been reported that the U.S. is looking at invading Abu Musa Island instead, with Greater and Lesser Toom as additional possibilities for further invasion. All three of these islands are disputed territories of both Iran and the UAE. And they do sit at the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, meaning that these are crucial places to ensure that the Strait of Hormuz is opened. So yeah, it seems like maybe the I wasn't entirely right with the possibility of the Greater and Lesser Tomb invasion instead of Karg Island, but it looks like they're going to target Abu Musa if it does happen. At least reportedly, this has also been telegraphed on the media. Believe it or not, Iran does have internet and they can read this stuff. So it makes you think, we're decoying there. Like, what are we actually going to do? The one thing that hasn't been decoyed is a mainland invasion, a beachhead into Iran, mainland Iran. But it's been signaled today to U.S. allies that the U.S. has no immediate plans for a ground invasion of Iran. So apparently they aren't planning on doing a full-fledged ground invasion into mainland Iran, or the way you could also interpret this is into Iran territory in general. But that leaves it open for two options. One, that all this was a bluff. 82nd Airborne, 31st Expeditionary Marines were called there on a bluff to panic Iran into making a decision quicker, a less favorable one for them. Or we're going to be invading islands that the U.S. does not consider part of Iran, which would be Greater and Lesser Tomb and Abu Musa. Because these are disputed, you can say, oh, it's not Iran, this was UAE, but Iran was occupying it. And this could be your symbolic victory, which hopefully is the off-ramp out of the Middle East. This is what I'm thinking currently as to why we have all these people there. We spent a lot of money to move these ships, fly these troops in, and it would be, another loss, in a way, for Trump if he is to spend all this money to have no results whatsoever. He's going to want to see results, so it seems that this is probably the most likely, given all the information I've collected. It's most likely that he's going to use these troops in not a technical invasion of Iran, but an invasion of Iranian-occupied UAE territory. And that way it's, he can say, I didn't lie, and I didn't chicken out this time, and we have success to show, and in a way this could, or not in a way, but this will actually help to open up the Strait of Hormuz. These are military occupied islands. I guess in a way structuring this whole toll situation in the Strait of Hormuz, allowing Iran to collect $2 million per boat for safe crossing. If the U.S. does control these, or at least chases Iran out, returning them to the UAE, it's a win in a way for the U.S., or allies in the UAE, and a loss for Iran because they have lesser control over the Strait of Hormuz. So I think this could be this symbolic victory we're looking for. Hopefully using that as an off-ramp as opposed to going deeper and deeper into this war. I sound a little hopeful today. I kind of am. I truly am hopeful. I hope we can figure this out quickly without any more lives being lost. I hope they reach some decision on this 15-point plan, but every time I check, nobody's talked about it in over a day. So that's kind of not what you want to see. Actually, something just popped up. Let's see what this is. Okay. So, I'll save that for, I believe, yeah, this very next segment. So there's this 15-point peace deal framework that was expected to be signed today. Iran was supposed to have their demands sent back to the U.S. It was due Friday, today. They had a list of 5 demands. This list includes reparations for damage and formal recognition of its control over the Strait of Hormuz. Those are 2 of Iran's demands. Do you think the U.S. is going to accept those? No. First of all, we'll never let them have formal control over the Strait of Hormuz. That's why this is such a problem currently, or part of the reason, one of many. And then second of all, you think we're going to pay them back for the destruction we caused? Are they out of their mind? I mean, seriously. That's like a no-brainer at this point. I mean, I don't know. It's not going to happen. That is going to be an unacceptable deal for the U.S., an unacceptable deal for Israel. They're not going to pay back damages, reparations. I mean, Israel wouldn't even pay reparations back to Palestine. You think they're going to do that to Iran? I mean, you must be out of your mind if you think that's going to happen. So it seems like the reason nobody's talked about the 15-point peace plan is that it's going to be a bust. I guess, thank goodness the markets are closed right now, so they can get to work, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen at this point. They're saying we're going to do it now or not in the last 24 hours. But everything's pointing towards that they're going to do it. And there's a obvious way in which they could and technically not have lied about anything. We'll check back on this at the end of today's show. Just see if anything's changed. But I guess that's where we're at right now. I'll check on it right now and see if I can find anything. That was a bad post. Come on. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's not even showing most recent. That's why it was doing that. Tiger Woods was arrested for suspicion of a DUI. Nice. I see nothing currently on any updates with Iran regarding an invasion of that sort. So we'll move on to what other countries are saying about what's going on in the Middle East. You have the Kremlin warning, I believe it was it last night or today? Either or, doesn't really matter. Kremlin has been warning that the Iran war risks sparking a nuclear conflict in the Middle East. Isn't it a little bit ironic, hear me out on this, that the war against nuclear proliferation may go nuclear? I mean, can we see the irony in this? It's not good. It's sick and twisted, but the war against nuclear proliferation is being warned that it could go nuclear. I mean, I'll just leave you with that. We'll continue on. So, in an episode, I believe it was released yesterday, of the Sean Ryan show, he had on Joe Kent, and he spoke about his resignation, once again, from counterterrorism intelligence or something like that. He spoke about this once again. He's been speaking, multiple different outlets on why he decided to step down, but I think he gives the best synopsis of it here about why he chose the step down. He says, the agenda was about keeping us out of endless wars. Seeing the way we were being slow-walked and rapidly entering this war, I had to say something about it. Number one, I couldn't be a part of it once the coffin started coming back from Dover. I just couldn't be a part of it based on all the experiences I had previously. I said to myself years ago, if I was in any position to keep us from being involved in a quagmire, I wouldn't be quiet about it. I would say something about it because that's so heavily weighed on me. But I truly believe what I said in the letter, that the way the president was influenced by the media, but also by Israeli government officials, and the way that decision-making took place in a compartmentalized environment, compartmentalized in the sense that the president didn't have much in terms of people giving him alternative viewpoints, that our country was in a bad spot, and the most effective thing that I could do was resign, and resign publicly. I believe that's the best synopsis he's given so far, aside from his one-page resignation letter. I guess the reason that he did it, it wasn't stated so much in the letter itself. I guess why he did it publicly as opposed to behind closed doors, but he wanted to, I guess in a way, ensure that the people understood entirely why he was doing it, that he wasn't chased out, that it was a conscious decision, a decision based on his personal conscience as opposed to a decision made by the powers that be. So I figured I would include that today. I don't know if we'll ever come back to this Joe Kent story. He'll probably be a prominent person going into these next couple of years just based on this decision. And however this turns out will effectively be the multiplier of how prominent he becomes. But we'll move on. There was a statement yesterday that President Trump thought the stock market would go down more. Rather a troubling claim. He said, yes, I think the stock market would have went down more after I've made these decisions. Today it took a nosedive. It dropped 1.73% on total of the day, down 793.5 points. We are now sitting at a stock market at 45,166.64 at close on Friday. It's below 50K, Pam. It looks like we're going to have to see some indictments at this point. It's well below 50K. This is what you should be caring about. Yeah. If we do go to the war this weekend, if we do invade, what are we going to be looking at come close Monday? Best guess is 42,000. Worst case scenario, 4140. And we'll still have 0 people arrested in connection with the Epstein thing. This is just a nightmare. We are in an economic death spiral right now. I checked a couple minutes ago. Oh, goodness, yeah. So when I first wrote this, about 2 hours ago, we were at the barrel of oil being up 6% today. It is now up 7%, which is not great. It's up 7.1%. Price per barrel is now at $101.2, up 40% in the last month, 45% within this year. Just absolutely tanking this economic recovery. Like I said yesterday, 50-year mortgage is the best we're ever going to get. Just take your own nothing forever and be happy with it deal and just get back to work, I guess. There's also a report today that the U.S. banks had unrealized losses fall to $306 billion in the year 2025. I don't know how you lose $306 billion. I guess in this economy, I mean, shoot. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they had too much oil or something, or not enough oil bought, and then the oil went up, and they were like, oh, well, we lost $306 billion. I don't know. If anybody else lost $306 billion in a year, they'd be in a lot of trouble, whether that be with their employer or their spouse. But, you know, the banks just run free. We'll never see any, you know, course correction from them on their own. Likely we'll never see any punishment. And we'll see 2008 once again. We'll see the 1930s once again. I mean, economic death spiral right now. And I'm not an economist. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I can just, I have a great ability to recognize patterns. And when the pattern is down, 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 and steeper every time, showing no sign of letting up, I just kind of like, you know, can draw correlation, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm like a magician of numbers or something. Can barely do math. But can tell you that the economic situation is absolutely terrible. I shouldn't be laughing about it, but there's nothing really I can do but laugh. Just out of, like, I guess, nervousness in a way. Disgust. But we'll move on from the economic death spiral in which we are currently trapped in and perpetuating every single day that we are in the Middle East quagmire. So yesterday night, I believe it was, maybe it was this morning, there's a clip out of CPAC in which the crowd cheers on impeachment. I'm not lying. You can look it up. It says Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union, asked the crowd at the Conservative Political Action Conference if they wanted to see impeachment hearings. The crowd responds with a roaring applause. This is the Conservative Political Action Conference. This isn't a whole bunch of liberals. This is the Republican Party. I guess probably libertarians as well at this point. They are cheering on impeachment. And, I mean, I can't say I blame them. But then the speaker, Matt Schlapp, he says, guys, this was the wrong answer, something along those lines. And they ask the question again. He gets the same response, but a little bit quieter. That wasn't the answer he was expecting. He thinks everybody is on board with this. I mean, runaway Republican Party that's turned into like an offshoot of the Democrats, in my opinion. But he expected, when he asked about impeachment, everybody would go, no, no, no. And everybody roared with applause. They want to see it. Conservatives are on board with it at this point. And that's the fall from grace we've had in less than a year and a half with this administration. We went from no new wars, reindustrializing America, arresting the deep state to, you know, the deep state's okay. Let's go to the war with Iran. Let's deindustrialize the third world instead of spending our money to reindustrialize ours. Went from deport illegal aliens to they can stay. We're not going to deport anybody anymore. It looks bad on us. I mean, what a fall from grace in a year and a half. and now you have your own party cheering on your impeachment. The boomers don't understand. Welcome to Radio Free Boomer. I hope you enjoy your time. I should change the name of this show to that. Radio Free Boomer. I'm trying to free the boomers from their mental fog. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. There's the question for the chat of the day. Do we change the show title to Radio Free Boomer, clearing boomers from mental fog? I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. It's like Radio Free Europe, but the people are more liberal here. Oh, we'll move on. So, Kash Patel's personal email was hacked by Iranian hacker group Handala. This was, I guess, yesterday, last night. It comes out today. There's been a couple people talking about it. It's not good. It's not a good look. This is basically what Hillary Clinton was accused of, using an unsecure personal email for classified information. Kash Patel is using an unsecure personal email, sending classified information, receiving classified information. The only difference in this whole thing, in which they wanted to rake Hillary over the coals, is that Hillary Clinton was found out by the FBI, but Kash Patel's FBI emails were found by a foreign government. It's like history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Shout out our government for being terrible at maintaining classified information and terrible at email security. I mean, worse than me. I mean, did dude even have two-factor authentication turned on? I mean, you got hacked by Iran. Well, we're at war with Iran, and they took your classified information. I mean, it makes Hillary look like an angel. I mean, how do you do that? How are you that bad? Kash Patel is just inept for the position. Him, Pam Bondi, both need to step down. Who else needs to go? I don't know. President Trump might need to step down at this point, honestly. Loved him for 9 years, but this last couple of months it's been rough. Our relationship has been rough these last 9 months, Mr. President. It's been rough. I want the best, but we are not getting the best right now. We'll move on to another story. I got a few agency things going on today. The ICE officer that shot Renee Good in self-defense will not face charges. This is great news because he did nothing wrong. We can't be charging people for acting in self-defense just because they're part of an agency you don't like. If you try and run somebody over with your car, I'd argue anybody has the right to pull out their gun and shoot you. Sorry. You need to make better decisions. Thank goodness he's not being charged. He did nothing wrong. It's unfortunate that he killed an American citizen, but like I said with the Alex Pretty thing, these American citizens had every opportunity to pick to do something else with their day, and they chose violence, and they received violence. It's unfortunate that they made these decisions. It's unfortunate that they passed away for doing so, but you need to make better decisions, guys. Start a podcast. That's what I do. I don't think I'd be out harassing law enforcement though if I wasn't doing this. I'd probably just flip burgers at McDonald's or play video games or something. I mean, I don't know. They should have started a stream or something, or just watched mine. They'd have a much better time. It's so fun in here, right, guys? All like 4 of y'all that have joined the day. So much more fun in here. Let's see what's going on. What else? So another. You know, when people are talking about Secret Service not being able to do their jobs, this was after Butler, this was after security breaches around President Trump. Well, this morning, a Secret Service member accompanying Jill Biden shot himself in the leg at the Philadelphia International Airport. Misfired, shot himself in the leg at an airport, accompanying the ex-president, President 46, Joe Biden, his wife. I mean, shot himself in the leg, requiring medical attention. I believe he's okay. That's my understanding on this story, is that he'll be all right. Or she. They will be all right. But, you know, when they were arguing that these people weren't the highest of quality, I think the point got proven. I mean, you shot yourself in the leg as a security detail for the previous president's spouse. Not a good look. Not a good look for the Secret Service today. But we will move on from that. So we have the Congress has decided that they will be leaving D.C. without funding TSA. Trump actually got this fixed today in a way. I mean, it's a short-term solution, but Congress has decided to skip town instead of pay TSA agents. Of course, they're taking airlines back, so they're walking by these people who they refuse to pay, expect them to do their jobs, yet they just voted to not give them any money. I mean, it's a two-tier society. There are the haves, the have-nots, the people in power, the people that are just like me, just hanging out, sticking around, just hanging out, going through 6-hour TSA lines while they just walk by the whole thing and refuse to pay the people that are actually loyal enough, willing enough to stay there and continue to accept no pay to do work. Back in the day, they would call that slavery. Today, we call that a government shutdown. Evil. But yeah, they decided that, well, there was one bill that the Senate passed that did not provide funding for border security. This would be ICE. This would be, I believe, I don't know if it was Border Patrol or not, but it wouldn't fund border security. I know it didn't fund ICE at all. And they were going to use that as like a, yeah, we did it type deal. And then it went from the Senate to the House, and the House said, no, we need border security. So the House struck the bill down. Senate had already left town. They woke up this morning, voted on it real quick, and everybody left. There were even people, as in Senator Marsha Blackburn, who left D.C. before the vote even took place. Shows her willingness to fund the people who work for her, public servants. If you're in Marsha Blackburn's district, it's time to vote in the primary. Sorry, Marsha, but it's a bad look. It's a really bad look. And other people in Congress are noticing this. Actually, Congressman John Rose of Tennessee has publicly claimed that we should call on John Thune to step aside. This is probably long overdue. It definitely is long overdue. He won't pass the SAVE Act. He won't ensure that funding for DHS is to a reasonable extent. He's doing the bare minimum and expecting, a Trump endorsement in his primary. He's expecting to do nothing and get paid this $200,000 annual salary as a member of Congress and do nothing for his constituents, the people of America. It is time for him to step aside. But today, an executive order was signed by President Trump directing DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin to pay TSA using the budget of the One Big Beautiful Bill. I guess these are probably rainy day funds type money, which will now be used to pay these agents because Congress refused to. Meaning that I guess eventually Congress will be paying back the One Big Beautiful Bill with some budget reconciliation. I actually doubt they'll do that. I think this is just gonna run up the debt some more. That's all we're good at. We're one broke country. It's unfortunate. We treat our public servants like junk and then expect them to let the people in charge of doing that walk right by them. I mean, it's a disturbing situation that's unfolding with this. Thank goodness they're being paid. They deserve to have food on their table, the ability to pay their rent, pay their mortgage, whether it be a 50-year mortgage or not. They deserve to have a house, food, be able to do things, travel, deserve to be paid. They did the work, and we're withholding their paychecks. So thank goodness that this executive order was signed. A rare Trump W these days, a rare Trump win. But this all could have been solved in Congress, should have been solved in Congress, I believe, in January. They push it into mid-February, and now the deadline's passed. The next deadline's passed. They've been without pay for a month and a half now, and it takes President Trump to step in and do the job which Congress should have done 3 months ago. Unlucky. Remember the vote in the primaries, guys. Just remember. That's your civic duty. Get out there and vote, because whatever's going on right now doesn't work for us. I guess also today in President Trump news, he addressed farmers at the White House alongside a golden tractor. I thought the golden tractor was a little gaudy, a little tone deaf with the reality of what farmers are going through right now. Especially, when they do get these grants, or not grants, they get bailouts. These bailouts, they don't even get to use the money. They go into the debts that they've already accrued. We've got a brand new golden tractor, and farmers can't even afford the tractor that they're currently paying off from years ago. It was a little tone deaf, I'm going to be honest. But at least he did, he tried his best to help them out. So, I think we can all appreciate that. I just wish the golden tractor wasn't there. Very tone deaf. He then flew to Miami today, where he was at an economic summit of some sort. That was going on, I believe, when I started. At least I saw the live thing. I guess going back to the ag sector news, there was a massive fire at Hawkeye Pride Egg Farm in Iowa last night. Not going to help with the rumors of a imminent food shortage at all. So I guess when the egg price goes back up and people start complaining about egg prices again, there's kind of a reason this time, and it's not just the chickens were all cold. It's that a huge egg farm was burnt down last night. It was unclear when I saw the total fatality toll in the incident. So pray for those farmers and their families. Farmers and their families in general, as they are the backbone of this society. They give us food. Most of us don't know the least bit of how they get actual food on our table, besides these farmers that put themselves in ever-increasing debt just because it's what they love to do, provide for America. So pray for people at the egg farm, people farming in general right now. They need it. We'll move on to, I guess, the last story, at least that has any relevancy whatsoever. There's a huge blackout in Orange County, California, southern Orange County. I believe this is the county which holds Los Angeles. Energy crisis ensues, and now major American cities are going without power for extended periods of time, kind of like Cuba. I mean, this is happening over and over again in the U.S. now, and I mean, we keep pushing for this war that's only going to exacerbate the problem. Let's see if anything else has popped up. Let's see. Anything they want to push out right before the weekend anchors come on. While we're doing this, make sure you are dropping a like on today's episode, following on YouTube, following on Rumble, subscribing on YouTube, following on Rumble and Kick. Share the episode if you feel so inclined. Share the channel. But I guess most importantly, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys that come in here every day. Let's see, what's going on? Masters is trending. Oh, it's because Donald Trump has revealed Tiger Woods won't be playing in the Masters. Tiger Woods got a DUI a minute ago, so flipped his car. There's no confirmation so far whether or not he was attacked with a golf club before, but he was allegedly not injured, so that's good. But don't drink and drive, guys. That's ridiculous stuff. Just ridiculous, putting yourself and everybody else at risk. Okay, here we go. Bomb threat evacuates 45,000 workers from Texas polymer site. That's not good. It was confirmed a hoax. Okay. Yeah. What a time to be alive, isn't it? Bernie Sanders faces backlash for first-class flight to wealth protest. Oh my goodness, what a guy. He's a national treasure, isn't he? War threatens global food supply. Stock market enters correction. Oh yeah, it's correcting all right. Pray for no invasion this weekend, because the bottom will fall out of the stock market. It really will. And the rich will buy up the bottom of it, and then they'll get richer. I mean, that's how this always goes, doesn't it? Just hope that this is a bluff. Just hope. I think we've gotten most of the major stuff. Today was slow, everything at once. I can't find anything else of importance. I'll go back up and see if there's been anybody posting on Iran. Yeah, there's still missile strikes going on currently between Iran and Israel, so yeah, it looks like this whole peace thing isn't going to work out. Unlucky, unfortunate. Pray for peace. I've also heard there may or may not be a risk of tornadoes today. So if you are in that risk, be careful. Watch the weather if you get a warning or whatnot. But we'll move on to our new last segment, the good news. Most important news you'll hear today, which is the Holy Bible. We're going to be talking a little bit. Palm Sunday is this weekend, so I figured I would start at the beginning of Matthew chapter 21. We'll go through the triumphal entry, and then when we come back Monday, we'll do Jesus at the temple. I think that's probably... Oh, let's see if we can fix this a little bit. Whenever I bring the Bible across, the screen gets dark. That's like a bad omen. It's got to be. And yeah, we'll go through the good news, and we'll continue with the good news after Palm Sunday, which is this Sunday. Go to church if you want to. It'll be fun. I promise. I enjoy it every single time. I think you will as well. But let's get started. Matthew chapter 21. It says, as they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage on the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, go to the village ahead of you, and at once you will find a donkey tied there with her colt by her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, tell him that the Lord needs them, and he will send them right away. This took place to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet. Say to the daughter of Zion, see, your king comes to you, gentle and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. The disciples went and did as Jesus had instructed them. They brought the donkey and the colt, placed their cloaks on them, and Jesus sat on them. A very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, while others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. The crowds went ahead of him, and those that followed shouted, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. When Jesus entered Jerusalem, the whole city was stirred and asked, who is this? The crowds answered, this is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth in Galilee. We'll come back on Monday, and we'll read about Jesus at the temple. You can probably hear about this story a little bit earlier if you want to go to church this Sunday. I'm basically sure most of your churches will be reading this exact story this week, as it is that time of the year. This is Palm Sunday. But we'll come back for the end of this. I guess the end of this. It's nowhere near the end. The end, I guess. I mean, there is no end to this book, if you think about it. But we're coming up on Easter. That's 2 Sundays away. Make sure you have plans for Easter. If you're not able to do Palm Sunday, I highly recommend Easter. I'd recommend both of them. And yeah, the good news, Jesus is King. I don't know. It just makes me happy to spread the good news to you guys. Even if there are no great news stories, the good news is true. It's probably the best news we've got these days. But I hope you guys enjoyed the day. Once again, make sure you're dropping a like. I plan on being back on Monday at 4:45. No shows this weekend. I've been working on getting another guest once again. It's been way too long, but it's been difficult to coordinate. I think we might have a guest that's previously been on, just because that's what I have access to. I've been reaching out to people. Sometimes I get a response, sometimes I don't. Most of the time they say, I don't know. And it's like, hey, so just say no. Just say no. Don't lie. There's no need to lie. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you again next week. Pray that we don't start a war over the weekend or get deeper into the quagmire, which is a war. No ground invasion. It's going to tank the stock market. It will. This already tanking stock market. You think it can't get worse? Oh, it can. Oh, it can, says the soccer coach. That's a funny meme. If you want to know what I'm talking about, look up like soccer coach says it can or something like that. You'll find it. It's an interview. I love that meme. It's great. But I'll see you guys again soon. To all my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. Make sure you guys are sharing this, dropping likes, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thanks for hanging out.